This time I'm going with green and blue to put you in this environment-saving mood. Just need to add some birds singing in the background and me speaking incredibly slowly. The X30 might be the device getting all the spotlight from the recent Nokia event, but what if you don't care about the flair and just want something more affordable with a focus on practicality and ecology? Then the Nokia G60, which is priced around $329 US, might tickle your fancy. So let's start with the unboxing experience, and the box is pretty much your typical Nokia box standard affair. Inside is the handset, a SIM ejection tool, product booklets in the relevant languages, and a USB-C charging cable. You'll notice that there is no charging brick included in the box, but this is a regional thing, so do check out your local Nokia website to know exactly what you're gonna get. My unit is an EU unit, which historically comes with a lighter box. I also think it's about time we get rid of all these product booklets and just have a QR code or something, since you're trying to save the environment and all. Anyway, the device itself has a couple of really cool sustainability aspects. The back, for example, is made out of 100% recycled plastic, while the frame, which is also made out of polycarbonate plastic, is 60% recycled. The phone also comes with an IP52 splash and dust resistance rating, which is a part of its durability focus. This means that accidental splashes of water and raindrops shouldn't harm it. I like this ice grey color, but I would have loved to see the pure black version too, which I think also looks pretty interesting. In terms of in-hand feel, the G60 does feel solid as you'd expect, but if I'm doing a blind quality test, I think the G50 actually feels a bit more dense. The back on this is matte, but it has these tiny flakes that shine under the right light and they look pretty cool. You can also feel their texture, so the back doesn't feel completely smooth. Overall, it does have an interesting design and look for sure, although it's definitely not as striking as the X30. The edges are flat, and on the right you get the volume rocker keys as well as the power button, which also acts as the fingerprint scanner. This is a fast and reliable fingerprint scanner, so I have no complaints. On the left is the dual SIM and the micro SD card slot. So you do have to choose between having an extra SIM card or expanding your device's memory. However, the phone also supports an eSIM card, which is a pretty cool feature that isn't very common amongst mid-rangers. Speaking of memory, you can either get the device in a 464 or a 128 gigs of memory and RAM configurations. On the bottom you have the USB-C charging port, a 3.5mm headphone jack, as well as a single bottom firing speaker. The loudspeaker isn't the best when it comes to audio quality, however it does get loud enough so you shouldn't have any problems using it. Now, one of the key features of the G60 is its display. It has a 6.58-inch Full HD IPS LCD panel with 120Hz refresh rate. This is a very nice LCD panel that offers good contrast, decent viewing angles, and a decent maximum brightness of around 500 nits under direct sunlight. But the best part about it is how smooth it is when you're playing games or just browsing through the user interface. The glass on the front, by the way, is Gorilla Glass 5, which isn't as shatter resistant as Gorilla Glass Victus, but it does a better job at handling micro scratches. And for all you huge bezel fans, the Nokia chin makes a comeback here, but this time sadly without the Nokia logo. On the back you'll find a triple rear camera setup with a 50MP main camera, a 5MP ultra-wide camera, and a 2MP depth sensor. The camera plate here comes with a matte plastic finish, which doesn't get scratched easily and has a nice 3D effect. It looks alright, but definitely forgettable compared to the symmetrical designs of the past. And yes, I'm gonna be mentioning that in almost every video, and I'm not even sorry really. The device comes with an 8MP selfie shooter. Inside is a 4500mAh battery capacity, which Nokia says should be good for up to 800 full recharge cycles. This is a nice bonus for people who plan on keeping this device for a long period of time, as it means that you can easily charge it for around 3 years without losing significant battery health. Another useful longevity aspect is that even though the device comes with Android 12 out of the box, you're also promised 3 years of OS updates and 3 years of security updates. On top of that, in some markets you're gonna get the device with 3 years of warranty too. So you can see that Nokia is really emphasizing the longevity aspect and is backing it up with the support needed to actually make it happen. Now, in terms of charging speed, the G60 comes with a pretty conservative 20 watts of maximum speed, which means that you'll be able to get about 50% of charge in 40 minutes and charge the full battery in just over 2 hours. These are not class-leading numbers by any means, so fans of faster charging might be disappointed. And it also makes the device ideal for charging overnight really. Now, in terms of how long the device will last on a full charge, you can expect to consistently get a day and a half of medium to heavy usage and up to 2 days if you're a light user. As for the software experience, the combination of the stock Android 12 OS as well as the Snapdragon 695 5G processor and the 120Hz refresh rate means that the user experience on this device is really one of its key highlights. There's just no noticeable lag, slowdowns, or frustration while using this device. Even apps launch almost instantly too. The only time you really realize that you're running on mid-range hardware here is when you're playing games. But even those work quite well as long as you're not sticking to the highest graphical settings possible or playing very heavy games such as Genshin Impact, for example. Overall, the processor gives this device a very nice balance between power and efficiency. And even its more expensive sibling, the X30, doesn't have an advantage over the G60 in this regard. When I say stock Android, I mean that the device heavily relies on Google services for all the basics. So things such as the Dialer app, SMS app, and email clients are all provided by Google. Nokia, however, does bundle a couple of apps that can be removed. Things such as Amazon, Netflix, and the latest edition, GoPro Quick. They all come pre-installed out of the box. Nokia is very proud of the new software features that they've included on the G60, and they've also finally redesigned the camera app, which was long overdue in my opinion. And the camera app looks familiar at a glance with your typical carousel setup on the right to change between modes. However, all the additional mode-specific features now are easily accessible from the left with a redesigned interface, and it looks pretty nice and clean. As for the camera-centric software features, you get Capture Fusion, which combines between the images of the ultra-wide camera and the main camera to get better details in the center of ultra-wide images. Testing this out briefly showed good results for what would have otherwise been pretty mediocre 5-megapixel ultra-wide images. It's a clever solution, though I would have liked to see it implemented on a better ultra-wide sensor. There's also Night Mode 2, which improves the way the phone processes low-light images, and Dark Vision, which helps the device capture bright images even when light is very sparse. The 50-megapixel main camera does a really good job with handling dynamic range and producing punchy colors, though don't expect flagship-grade image quality here. The X30, for example, is a far superior camera phone thanks to its larger sensor and optical image stabilization. In terms of video recording, the G60 is limited to up to 1080p video at 60 frames per second, which is sadly a chipset limitation. The device also comes without cinema mode, which gives you pro controls for video, but it does have manual controls for still images and a couple of signature features like dual sight. I briefly tested the call quality and it was pretty good. No complaints to report really. So what do you guys think about the Nokia G60? Do you like what it has to offer, or do you feel like there's a feature that you would have liked to see implemented here? I know that this will definitely be overshadowed by the X30, but I also think that it offers excellent value and ticks almost all the right boxes for a practical, no-nonsense mid-ranger. And with the longevity and warranty aspect, it also goes above and beyond. This is like the Toyota Camry of smartphones. It won't blow you away or leave your jaw on the floor, but it does everything so decently well, and then you realize that it has a V6 engine under the hood. So it's pretty fast too. Maybe I need to start reviewing cars on this channel too. If this is something that you think sounds interesting and you would watch me do car reviews, I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. For those who love flair and want a camera-centric mid-ranger, check out my Nokia X30 hands-on video, or check out my quick hands-on with all the devices that were announced by Nokia at IFA here. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you're enjoying my content, and I shall see you in the next one.